The diner wasn't glamorous. It never pretended to be. The floors were checkered tiled, the walls yellowed from decades of grease and laughter and sorrow. The old jukebox near the bathrooms still blinked, though no one used it anymore. A cracked vinyl bench in the corner always sagged too much. The coffee, well, it tasted like burnt memories, but it was home to Tara. She'd been working the Sunday morning shift for 5 years. That meant grumpy post church folks who dressed in their praise the Lord best, but sometimes forgot to say please or thank you. It meant solo seniors in quiet booths, families with screaming kids, and far too many I forgot my wallet apologies that never got repaid. She tied her apron tight around her waist and forced her hair into a bun behind the counter. Her feet already ached, and she was only 2 hours into a 10-hour shift. Her manager had called in sick again, and the dishwasher was late. She sighed and picked up a carafe of lukewarm coffee. Lord, she whispered under her breath, please let me make rent this week. At that moment, the door swung open, bells jingling lightly. A man stepped in. No fanfare, no entourage, just quiet. He looked out of place. Now, he wasn't homeless, but he didn't look rich either. Just like he belonged everywhere and nowhere at once. He wore jeans and a simple gray hoodie. His sandals didn't match the cold, wet morning. His beard was neat, and his eyes, oh, those eyes, they were deep, brown, timeless. Tara gave the usual half smile and said, seat yourself wherever you like. He chose table 12, the booth in the corner by the frosted window, the one everyone usually avoided. It had a view of the old gas station and the back of a faded billboard that used to advertise toothpaste. She approached with her notepad. Coffee? Yes, please. Black. No sugar. His voice had a quiet weight, like it carried mountains, but didn't need to brag about them. And to eat? 2 eggs, over medium, toast dry. No sides? He smiled. This will be enough. She nodded and walked away. She didn't know why her hands were trembling. The grill sizzled, grease popped. Behind her, the waitress at table 3 cursed under her breath about a family who complained about the bacon being too crispy. But Tara kept stealing glances at table 12. The man didn't look at his phone. He didn't fidget. He just sat, peaceful, eyes moving from table to table, not judging, just seeing. When she brought his food, he looked up. Thank you, Tara. She blinked. Sorry? How do you know my name? He tapped the badge on her apron. It's on your heart, he said softly. She laughed awkwardly. Right, the name tag. But she felt weirdly exposed. not threatened, more like known. "You ever have days where everything feels heavy?" she asked, not knowing why she even said it. He looked at her with eyes full of galaxies. "Yes, but they don't last forever." Something in her cracked. She nodded, turned, and walked back to the kitchen. She didn't ask why her throat felt tight. 10 minutes passed. When she returned with a coffee refill, the booth was empty. Plate clean, cup drained, and no tip. Of course, she sighed hard. Figures. But then she saw it. A napkin folded perfectly, sitting where the coffee cup had been. She almost ignored it, figuring it was trash. But something made her pause. It felt intentional, sacred somehow, like it glowed even though it didn't. She picked it up, hands tingling. When she opened the napkin, a small gasp escaped her lips. The ink was dark. The penmanship, well, it was unlike any she'd seen. Beautiful and flowing, like the script had life in it. "Tara, you think no one sees you, but I've seen every smile you forced when your heart was breaking. Every dollar you slid into the hand of someone in need, even when you didn't have it to give. Every insult you swallowed. Every prayer you whispered into your pillow. You've walked through fire, quietly, and still you serve. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. I've never stopped watching over you. The blessing you need is already on its way, just not from the hands you were expecting. Don't give up. Keep loving. Keep standing. I'm not late. I'm right on time. Love, Jesus." Her knees buckled into the booth. Tears streamed down her face as she clutched the napkin. No one had called her by her first name with that kind of love in years. Not since her mom passed. Not since her dad disappeared. Not since hope started to feel like a word people used in movies, not in real life. She ran outside, napkin in hand. "Sir," she called, "please, I need to know who you are." But the street was still. The wind whispered past her. A single napkin blew across the lot, like a holy echo. She turned in slow circles. No car starting, no footsteps walking away. He was gone, or maybe he was never just here. That night, she placed the napkin inside her worn-out Bible, right between Psalm 34 and Matthew 5. She didn't make rent that week, but somehow the landlord gave her an extension without explanation. The diner didn't suddenly become magical. People still complained, and the coffee was still bad. Her feet still hurt, but her heart didn't ache in the same way. Because once, in a booth near a frosted window, Jesus came to breakfast, And instead of tipping with cash, he tipped her with purpose. Friends, sometimes Jesus doesn't leave a tip because what he came to give is worth far more. He leaves hope, identity, affirmation, and peace. And if you're watching, really watching, you might just catch him at table 12, writing on napkins with ink made from heaven. Stay ready, because he still comes for the weary, especially when they least expect it. And your blessing is on its way. God bless you, my friends.